What's up, you guys? Welcome back to our channel. If this is your first time here, this is my husband Enrique and my name is Cassandra, and we do Disney, fitness, now family, as we just had our newborn.
Yeah, about 8 days ago.
Yes, literally.
Fresh.
So fresh that we actually decided to record our labor story video just because going through it,
Because we already posted the labor and delivery, but we didn't really talk because we were like...
it was real. It was like we were just trying to figure it out. We were just trying to get as much as we could.
Yeah, and it was a long
process.
2 days.
Yeah. It was a long 2 days of labor and delivery. So we figured right now it's still pretty fresh in our mind since it was about a week ago. So we want to make sure that we say it all, and then I think this is a great video just to kind of reflect back on it, because everybody says you end up forgetting all the pain, you end up forgetting everything that you went through. So I don't want to forget, and then I want to be able to share with my son in case he's curious, like, Mom, what was it like?
And before you guys judge us, baby's right there.
Oh yeah,
Not alone.
He's literally in his bassinet right next to us. So yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, sorry. So everything started on Saturday.
Yes.
It was 2 o'clock.
2 in the morning, I woke up and I felt something. I was just like, whoa, like, what is that? I went to the bathroom and I lost my mucus plug. So for those that don't know, I actually don't know what it is, but it's
Some type of plug. Google it.
It's a part that's like in between that protects your baby from bacteria down there. But basically when it comes out, it's kind of like a sign of labor's coming. Doesn't mean you're in labor. But anyways, so I lost that. And then I didn't feel comfortable, so I went to the
During
kitchen.
all this, I was on the phone with the doctors.
No, he was not. He was knocked out.
I was asleep.
And I went to the kitchen and I went to go eat. I was so hungry. I went to go eat. And then I realized, like, I kept feeling menstrual like cramps. I kept feeling something going on in my like lower ab area, not necessarily like down there, but like in between. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start tracking. And if you guys have heard of the contraction timer, it's an app. Enrique makes fun because he's like, they make an app for everything. Right? And so I was like, started tracking, but it was like every 10 minutes. So it was so funny because I was like, I think this is something, but is it gonna get closer? So then I went back to bed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't go back to bed till like 4 in the morning, 5, because I kept tracking and I was like really, and I was uncomfortable.
Yeah, and then you woke me up like at 7, I think. She was like, it's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but she didn't say it super exciting. She kind of just said it's happening. So I'm like,
I was like, babe,
what's
he woke
happening?
up and I was like, babe, I lost my mucus plug. And he's like, well, I don't know what that means. And then I was like, it's happening. And then he's like, but I wasn't 100% confident, so I think that's where you hurt.
yeah, I was like, I didn't hear the, let's go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
you were in the bed like,
what's
like,
happening?
You were
And
looking
they're
at
like, okay, well, I'll make you breakfast. So make breakfast, and I'm like, she's like, it's happening. I'm like, so are we going to the hospital? She's like, no. I'm like, so.
Yeah, because I was like, it's not time yet, you know? And I kept being told, I had my 38-week appointment, wait, 3
The
days?
day before. It was Friday.
Oh,
Yeah, it was Friday,
yeah. I keep thinking it was like 4 days.
No, it was Friday, yeah.
You're right. Friday morning, I had my appointment. This is Saturday in the morning. And they had told me, do not come in. This was my advice from the OBGYN or the midwife. She said, do not come in if you're still excited and happy.
Yeah.
Even though you're having contractions. I was like, okay, this was her example. Then don't come in until like you're sick and tired of your husband's breathing, of his hair. Like she made it like really dramatic. Like when you're sick and tired of any of that.
Haircut. Then,
Yeah. Then you come in. I was like, okay, I guess. So then I figured like, okay, and I also YouTubed a lot, and it was like, you know, don't come in. Oh, even in the classes that we took.
Yeah. So I was like, so what are we doing? And she's like, just go about our day. So I'm like, how?
Yeah.
Like,
and then
she was like, I'm like, do I go to the gym?
Yeah. And we were gonna meet up with friends.
Right? Oh yeah, we had to get together that day.
And I canceled on them. I didn't want to, but I was like, I just don't think I'm gonna be so fun thinking like about this, and like I was, and there was actually a couple things we wanted to get done. As you can see in the video, he did the playpen or the pack and play. I wanted to vacuum. There's just so much I wanted to get done. So I was like, let me just cancel on them, let them know. And it was so funny because then he was like, I'm not gonna go to the gym. I was like, just go. Like, it's still early. If you're gonna go now though.
Yeah.
And
because she's like, you don't know when are we gonna get to go to the gym again.
Yeah.
After this, if it's happening. And I'm
right.
like, right.
He did not want to go though.
No, I didn't want to go.
And then he went, and then he went to the commissary actually as well. He went to go get.
And I ran into the people that we were supposed to meet. I'm like,
I was like,
they're like, are you in labor? I'm like, she kicked me out of the house. She
yeah, I felt so bad. I was like, they probably thought we were lying or something, but they didn't think that, because I was just like, no, I sent him out so I can clean and he can relax, because he started getting a little bit like, well, what do we do next? What do we do next? So then he went and got all that groceries and whatnot, get us prepared, and then that day we went walking.
Then we did 2 walks, and she did 30 minutes on the stairs on the porch.
Right. I was doing like side steps. If you guys have seen like any labor prep recommendations, it's like curb walking. I was just doing that on the steps sideways, and then I was doing a couple stretches in the room. And I was really doing it just to like kind of prepare myself for labor, not necessarily like induce myself. But then
she called her aunt.
Yes.
And that's where all hell broke loose.
So then I called my aunt, and then it's like, and she's very informative in this department, right? But she's like, I'm like, hey Tia, like this is what I'm feeling and blah blah blah. She's like, oh, that's like Braxton Hicks. I was like, so the fake one. She's like, yeah, you're not in labor. I was like,
she started bawling.
Yeah,
crying.
because I was like, no.
I call it the ugly cry. Like sometimes she'll cry, but sometimes she ugly cries. I'm like, oh man.
So you knew it hurt my feelings.
Yeah. She's like, this can be 2 more weeks of this. I'm like, oh man.
So then, yeah, because that's what my aunt said. She was like, oh, I went like that, and it was like still another week. And I was like, wait, no, there's no way, because it was painful. Yeah. Like I had already got to the point where I was like, this is starting to hurt. And I had gotten Braxton Hicks prior, but it was super random, like once a day, and then maybe sometimes twice a day, but like super stretched out. And it's when my stomach like tightened really hard. I had to kind of stop myself, but not completely bend over, you know what I mean? So I was like, no, there's no way. But then because I trust what she says, I was like, yeah, like she's right, like it's not happening. So I started crying, because I also was a little hopeful to meet my son. Yeah, frustrating for sure. So then I was okay, whatever. But then we just kind of like relaxed the rest of the night, right? We were like, but let's just stay here, or wanted to. Then
at midnight she was like, something changed, it's different. I'm like, I don't get it. She's like, we gotta go.
Yeah, I was like, I think we gotta go, because my contractions started coming in at like 5 to 6 minutes. Well, it was like going from like 8 to 7, then 5 to 6 minutes, and I was like, the only thing they weren't long. They weren't long enough for me to feel confident. But I was like, no, something's changed. Let's just go. We went, and then the video, as you guys can see, we're like driving over there, and there was a couple different types of swollen I was during that video, just to let you guys know. But that one was like crying from a little bit of pain and a little bit of hurt, that like, I'm like, is this not it? Like, I can't go through this another week, like that little bit that I was going through. So we ended up at the hospital, and I just let them know like, hey, I think I'm in labor, and they're like, okay, let's just check, you know. So then they actually
well, it's funny, the girl next to us, because we weren't in a room, we were in the like it's like a bunch of beds and just division with curtains, and they're like, oh no mama, this is normal, you're not there yet. I'm like, oh my god.
The lady next to us, I was like, oh my god, is that a sign? Like, oh. So we get there, and I'm getting contractions, right? Remember, there's a video of me there, and
they measure you at 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters. 4 centimeters. And the doctor's like, well, you have 2 options. You can stay here and walk around the hospital and come back later, or go home and come back later. And they were like, how far do you live? We're like 20, 25 minutes. They're like, okay. And we're like, she's like, discuss it. And I told Cassandra, like, we go home, we get to eat. Yeah. We stay here.
Yeah.
There's no more food.
And that's what we had said. We're like, let's make sure we get a good meal before. Yeah. Let's make sure that, you know, I'm ready to be stuck, but potentially at the hospital.
Yeah. And she didn't make it that long.
So then we came home.
Yeah.
We came home, and then that was already midnight. The whole night.
We got here at 2.
Oh, 2 in the morning. Yeah. Right. So we came back home, and then we were kind of like, I was not sleeping, but Enrique says that I was.
She was sleeping in between. She would get a contraction, like, and a minute later, I'm like. I start snoring. I'm like, oh man, she's really like.
And I'm not a snorer, so like this pregnancy has made me a snorer apparently. I was so embarrassed. And he's like, you would just knock out like.
Yeah.
And I was like, really?
And then she like.
I cannot. It's so embarrassing. So anyways,
that happened.
so that was all night. That was all night.
Like at 6:30 or 7, I ate breakfast because you couldn't sleep. I made you breakfast. You didn't touch it.
He made me, and I asked him like, make me some eggs.
I gave you some
bread,
scrambled eggs and a bagel.
and a bagel. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, that's what
Half
I want.
a bagel, yeah. And then
Remember?
it stayed in the sink.
I went to go eat it, and I literally had one bite of the eggs, and I wasn't disgusted. I don't think I just couldn't eat. Like I don't know. I never felt that. Never had that problem.
And our friend, she was like, "Hey, well, how are you guys doing?"
She knows that we were in contractions.
I'm gonna come by. I'm like, sure. So I took her something. Like, hey, she's coming by. She's like, I don't want any milk. Like, oh, I'm sorry. She's coming.
I just felt bad because she has her baby boy, and I didn't want them to be scared. I didn't know how they were gonna react to me in pain, and like.
She was in a lot of.
I was in bed the whole morning, so like even when they came to my room and came and saw me laying in bed, like passed out almost, you know. And then I was like trying to hold my contractions, trying to interact with them, and I couldn't. So my friend saw me in my contraction, and she started massaging my back the way that I guess they did it for her. Oh my god, that felt so amazing. Just the way that like she was like moving her hand and pressuring during my contraction, and we were just chit-chatting maybe for like another 20 minutes or whatever, but then she was like, hey, you guys should probably go to the hospital.
She's like, you guys need to go. All right, let's go. So.
And it was so funny because I had just said like, I feel, because I kept going to the bathroom, remember? I kept going to the bathroom, but I wouldn't necessarily use it, or maybe a little bit, but I kept feeling like I could push him out. And I told Enrique, I was like, I feel like I could push him out, but I was like, nah, like I'm just making up shit, you know what I mean? So then I was just like, but I was able to talk during the contraction in a way, right? Would you say? But it was so quick that like I would lose my breath really quickly or something like that. Because my aunt was telling me, and my cuñada was telling me like, you're not gonna be able to talk, you're not gonna be able to do anything, blah, blah. And Enrique says I was like that, but I felt like I was a little bit more in control than that, no? Well, anyways, so then, yeah, that's what I'm saying, like in between, not during the contraction. Like the fact that I was still able to have a conversation shocked me. But anyways.
So at like 11 or noonish, we go to the hospital. I drop her off in front of the hospital. I go park.
He's like, you want me to drop you off in front and I'll go park? I was like, yeah.
She's walking so slow. I'm like, I'll catch up. Don't worry.
Right. Oh, from my bathroom, we changed, got ready, and my friend was helping us head out. From my room to the front door, I had 3 contractions. Like literally, like not even killing time. I had 3 contractions. From the drive there to the hospital, I had more contractions. So by the time we got to the hospital, I could not walk.
So I let her be. I didn't. It's the hospital's right, the entrance right there. She like 3 steps to the entrance. Right. Don't make me look.
No.
She had like it's right there. And then. But I let her in the emergency entrance. So it was in, and I parked. And I'm rushing to the clinic, and I'm like, I don't see her, because you gotta pass through the emergency room, because it's the weekend, because the main doors are not open. And then a long hallway, go upstairs, get to the clinic, and I don't see her. I'm like, there's no way she beat me to it, like.
Because I was walking like handicapped.
And then I text her, I'm like, where are you at? And then I guess
I'm already at the check-in. So some lady actually saw me walking into the entrance, like literally the first hallway, and she's just like, do you need a wheelchair? And I was like, and I was grabbing the contraction. I couldn't even answer her. I swear, I couldn't even answer her. And I was on the rail, like of the hallway, hanging on. So then she goes and grabs one, and I think she was with 2 other girls. It looks like maybe her daughters, nieces, something like that. And they go and grab me a wheelchair, take me all the way up to the 3rd floor, check in, and then they put me at the front desk. I was like, I'm so sorry, thank you so much. I was starting to cry. I was like, thank you so much, I appreciate you. I swear my husband, like, he's on his way. We made it all the way to the top and you still didn't catch up to us.
Like, what the heck?
And she wasn't hauling ass, she was like taking her time. And so then he finally comes in, and then he's like, I saw you from the hallway because the desk, and you look panicked. I lost my wife.
Where's my wife?
Yeah, because you had, I think, a pillow and a blanket, and you just look like...
I have my backpack, pillow, blanket, I'm like, I don't got a wife, I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's my husband. But I started crying. They started having me file paperwork, and I was just like, can someone help me, please? Like, I started crying, bawling. They just finally grabbed me and took me to that area to go and check how far I am. 2 seconds later, they're like, you're 9 centimeters. We looked at each other hoping that I was 6.
We were hoping for 6, because at 6 in our hospital they admit you.
Yeah.
So
we were
at
like,
least 6.
Please, come on, I have to be at 6. Like, please, 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 please. And I say that in the video, but then we get there and they're like, you're 9 centimeters, 80% efface, and -2 something else. So if anybody knows that, they know what I'm talking about. So I was pretty much there, I guess. The only thing is that my water did not break yet.
Yeah.
So then they start talking to me. They start doing other like check-ins, and they start asking me questions, like if I wanted epidural, if I wanted certain things, right, and whatever. And then finally they're like, okay, let's take her to the delivery room, right?
Yeah.
We were only there maybe like 15 minutes.
Yeah, they took us pretty much straight to the room.
Yeah.
Then we did the epidural, and they took me out. They take you out for the epidural. I was in the waiting area, and the nurse comes back, and she's like, this is a totally different person. She's telling me stories about her dia, and I'm like, what?
The midwife?
Yeah. I'm like, what? And then she's like, I walk into the room, she's like, hey.
Because I swear, you guys, when we got checked in, I was crying, and I even apologized. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
And actually, we have a picture. I'm gonna put a picture of Cassandra with her popsicle. She's like so happy. I'm like, are you in labor?
Because I was crying when I got there, and I was just kind of like, can somebody please help me? And so I even told them, like, even before the epidural, I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm being so dramatic. Like, I felt embarrassed of my behavior, but everybody was super nice to me. So when I got the epidural, by the way, for the epidural, I did hear it was very painful. For me, it was not painful. It was, I even told the guy, the anesthesiologist, that he was really smooth. He was really calm. I didn't move. I behaved really well, I guess. But I did feel it. Like, it felt like a little sting, like a needle, pues, like, you know. But I've heard that it's super painful. So just to let you guys know, my personal experience, it was not so.
And it was good. They let us rest. They let her rest for like 5 hours because it was a holiday weekend. We didn't know why they were letting us rest so much. Come to find out, it's a holiday weekend. It was only one fully staffed team, and there was a mom doing a C-section. So the whole team was doing the C-section, and they were like, no worry, just take a nap. And then come to find out they were doing a C-section, so they weren't rushing her.
Especially because with the epidural, they were like, hey, right now you can take a break, because I had told them, hey, I've been up
for like at that point like 30-some hours, 38
I've been up,
hours.
yeah, and they're like, you need rest. Like, once this baby comes, you're not gonna get rest. That's what they kept telling us. So they're like, just relax, go get some popsicles.
We had popsicles, jellos, we had everything. The hospital was amazing.
Oh yeah, and we're not even into the after. But so then the epidural actually also relaxed me so much that my contractions slowed down. So they really wanted me at 10. When they checked me one more time, they accidentally or whatever broke my water. So then that's when kind of everything started rolling. And then we actually got into practice pushes around 7 p.m. So then we were like, okay, perfect. Like, and our midwife was great, amazing, so sweet. And I told her, like, hey, just communicate with me. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a first-time mom, but the more feedback you give me, I'll be able to try to help, you know, with the process. So she was like, yeah, okay, perfect. I'll be transparent. Like, I'm not gonna get upset if you tell me I'm doing something wrong. So then she took that in, like, was like, you're doing this wrong, or you're doing that right, or whatever. Like, she was so kind and kept telling me she's so proud of me. So it felt really good too. But then when we started doing the practice pushes, she well, there was one part where I wasn't doing it right, so we had to change position, and then you guys can tell that like I had no feeling in my legs. That Enrique started helping the lady, right? So she was holding one leg and he was holding the other.
And she was like, okay, Dad, do this now. And I would let go of the head. I forgot the leg was numb, and the leg was like, ah.
It literally would fly. I'm like, Enrique. The lady was like, oh my God, just like careful. I'm over here like, you're gonna break my leg off. Like, that's literally how numbed it looked, like, and dramatic when he would let it go. And then he would start cramping up on his shoulder. And I'm like, Enrique, this is not the time. This is not the time. So then the midwife was like, does he need, like, he went to the Russian, is he okay? Does he? I was like, I lied. I was like, he has a whole injury. Like, she's like, we could do something else. But anyway, so we did get into a different position to kind of help the process. And then that's when she was like, okay, like, stop, because he's coming, right?
Yeah, and then the doctor came in and
the whole team came in,
30 minutes late. Well, I filmed the whole, like, when you guys saw on the side view, I filmed the whole thing. That was only 12 minutes. Like, we caught it for the video, but the actual video was 12 minutes.
Oh, really?
So from when I started recording, that's when the doctor actually got in position.
Oh.
So, yeah, 12 minutes.
See, that was really fast because I was like, he was probably down there 30 minutes, but then after the baby came out, I felt like he was there another 30 minutes or so.
Well, he was there afterwards, making sure everything was okay, but from when I started recording there, the baby was like 12 minutes.
Wow, that's shorter than I thought.
Yeah.
So then, so then I started pushing, and it didn't seem very long with the doctor, as you guys can tell. And then they even let me touch the baby's head while he was still down there. Enrique had said that he was not gonna look at anything. He was gonna stay all the way up here. Tell me why this kid was all the way down there. I was like, you could.
They kept saying, look at this. I'm like, oh.
No, they kept saying, oh my God, look at his hair. Oh my God, look at this. Look at that. And he's like, well, I want to see too. Like, he started getting curious. So then he went down there, and I was like, you look like you could have helped the doctor pull him out. But then, yeah, I mean, what do you think about that part, I guess?
Yeah, and it was an experience. It was definitely like, it was crazy, it was wild, and seeing the baby come, I saw the whole thing, I saw the whole baby come out, and I'm like, oh my God, that's freaking crazy. Yeah. And then the umbilical cord, I thought I was gonna be like, snip, nope, I was like, it was trying to cut like a rubber band, it was hard. Yeah. Then we thought they were gonna take the baby right away for measuring, and like people kept asking, how much does he weigh, how much does he weigh? I'm like, we still have him. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's been like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
We still had him. And they're like, no, just take your time. They went to go take the medicine for the baby, get everything ready, and then eventually they took him.
They left him on my chest for like 30 minutes. He held them for a couple minutes or so. Yeah. And then they finally took him. We were like, I mean, we were okay with it, but we thought it was different. So anyways,
it was an experience. It was amazing. We're gonna do a video of when we got transferred to the mom and baby unit. Mm-hmm. That was a whole nother experience.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, but the whole delivery, leading up to it was kind of chaotic, but once we got to the hospital, the staff was amazing.
Yeah, no, everything went amazing once we got there and I got drugs, because I was like, Enrique, I feel high.
Yeah,
like,
she was it's literally two different people. Like, before and after the epidural. I mean, I'm not the one pushing or anything, but if you guys can get the epidural.
Well, the thing is, like, also, like, I was trying to avoid it, and I was actually, my goal was to be at home as long as possible and avoid the epidural.
We couldn't have stayed longer at home.
That baby would have came out the toilet. Like, that's crazy. But I ended up getting it considering that there was just so much more still gonna happen. I mean, the fact that they were like, oh, we want to wait till you're 10 centimeters or your water breaks, and that's like, you don't know the time for that. And then the fact that, like, I didn't know if I was gonna hurt me for him to come out, like, then the post. So I convinced myself, I think, kind of like, you know what, I'm just so exhausted that, like, I would rather enjoy the rest of this. And I didn't know if the epidural was gonna work. Some people say that they don't feel anything, some people say that they do. I didn't feel anything necessarily. When he came out of me, a lot of people say it's like a pressure. What I felt was kind of like just like a nudge. Like, that's all I felt, like kind of like a nudge. So the epidural worked well.
And I wasn't, it wasn't, they weren't doing it to me, but they seemed like they were just super careful with you, super, like, making sure you're comfortable.
Yeah, they were.
The doctor was, the most nicest doctor I ever met in my life. He's like, you're doing so good.
So soft-spoken.
So soft-spoken. Like, you're doing so
Salud, mi amor.
good. You're doing great. Come on, Mom. I'm like,
Yeah, that's true. They were really encouraging during it. They're like, I'm so proud of you. Oh my God, you're doing so good.
Yeah.
Oh my God, your breathing is great. They're like, he's right there. And like, you know, I don't know if they say that to everybody, but it was like really encouraging.
Yeah.
So, and then Enrique even had told me like, because the position I was in, I had handles and I would grip that and then push. He was like, pretend it's a deadlift.
Yeah, like a deadlift.
Yeah, I was like, no, he did it. So yeah, I think it was a really good experience. And I'm glad I did get the epidural because I was pretty much able to.
I'm glad you got it to be honest.
To enjoy the
you
rest.
were
Yeah.
miserable. She was miserable. Like, I hate her seeing her like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I really was, and I was exhausted. Like, I had not gotten any rest, any sleep. I was just so tired and aguantándome, and like, you know, not knowing how far I was. Ay, Stella. But anyways, yeah. And then the post, you know, overall, the post. I mean, are we gonna talk about that now or next time?
We'll do the next one.
Okay, because that one's a big
That's a
one.
big one.
Yeah.
Because we were there for 3 days.
Yeah.
Or 2.5 days.
Yeah, definitely. And it was, if anybody's curious, and we'll get more into it in the next video, I guess.
Yeah.
It is a military hospital.
Yeah.
It is on base, of course. It is something that, you know, a lot of people maybe are curious about or have different experiences.
Yeah,
so
if you
I
guys
think,
got any questions, specifically for Liberty or for Bragg, for Liberty now, for Womack Hospital, if you guys got any questions, just let us know.
Yeah.
Based on our experience, and we'll definitely answer your questions.
Yeah,
but it was a great experience. So
I hope you guys enjoyed the first video, and then I hope that this helps clarify anything.
Yeah.
As you guys can tell, you know, that it is an experience that, you know, as you guys can
Changes your
tell,
life.
I was going through it. Like, look at my faces in those videos. I was like, not about it. I was swollen to the max. I remember
it was amazing.
you even said like, oh my God, you look drunk,
Yeah.
or my face was super swollen.
She looked like she got beat up.
Looks like, like, babe. That's so mean. No, I did look bad, but we posted it. I mean, you guys can see. I mean, I wish we could have recorded even more. I wish that like.
But we were trying to be like, obviously, like, not like, excuse me, doc.
Yeah. No, I meant like maybe even like we didn't record a lot of me at the end of the contractions.
Oh yeah, because
I guess we were just
like
we were trying to focus on like, what do we do? Yeah.
And like sometimes, and then I'll think, oh yeah, we gotta record. We'll record this.
Yeah. So I mean,
it wasn't the priority per se. Yeah.
But it was still enough for you guys to have at least a video, and for us to have something to look back at. So I hope this helped. If you guys have any questions, like I said, comment below. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And then we'll go ahead and bring you guys some more family content, some more Disney content.
First parents.
Oh my God, that's yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for everything. We'll see you guys in the next.